For today's naturally inspired moment, I'm actually talking about community today because I've been listening to a number of different resources and lectures on health recently, especially over this weekend. I did a lot. This word kept coming up and I thought, isn't that interesting? 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I almost never heard the word community when it came to health. Now, maybe I heard community hospital, but in terms of prevention, in terms of curating optimum health, my doctor never told me, hey, you need community to get healthy. I don't know about, not that I've been to a doctor like that for a long time, but I don't recall anyone, ever discussing community in terms of health in the past. And now, we've been here with Naturally Inspired Community now for 6 years, started in 2019, before COVID, because I knew one of the pillars of health was actually building a lifestyle that was sustainable. And one of the components to making transformation in your life, you need support. You need support. I developed an 8-part transformation system. It's awareness, discover and educate, vision, goals, belief, focus, immersion, consistent application, and then teaching. This is kind of the components I have been able to identify that create change. There's a process that you go through when you're transforming. And that's what you have to do. If you don't have the health results that you want right now, then you need to embark on a journey. It's a health journey, but it's a transformation journey, meaning you turn into who you need to be to sustain optimum health. So it's a process. And if you do that within a community, let me tell you, it's way more enjoyable. If you try to do that all by yourself, isolated, and you're up against workers who, fellow coworkers that don't understand what you're trying to do, or family members that don't understand why you're trying to change to get better results with your health, or if you don't have any friends that actively work within a healthy lifestyle, it's tough. You're swimming up river, right? While everybody's coming down river and you're going, I'm going to just, it's a battle. Now, I'm not suggesting you have to get rid of your coworkers, you have to get rid of your friends, you have to get rid of your family. That's not what I'm saying here. But you do have to seek support. You need a place, a community where you can feel supported in this new journey, in this transformation process. So today's Naturally Inspired Moment is how to build community and why you need it. There is so much powerful research proving that the way to health is within your community. Because in real life, community isn't optional, it's essential. Accountability, it provides you with some accountability. It reminds you that you're not alone in your growth journey. It helps with your physical movement, knowing that other people are doing physical things, joining clubs, joining groups, or going to classes. There's an accountability component and a community component to those types of things. It helps with your mental journey along your optimum health and even your spiritual journey along your optimum health. So here are 5 strategies to start building your community today. Number 1, you want to look for a community that has shared values. You don't have to all agree, but you want some shared values. You got to find people who believe what you believe, that health, faith, and freedom matter, right? If those are important to you. Because when your values align, the connection feels effortless. It's a place you want to go. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. So it doesn't matter if there's thousands of people in this community, right? It's about the quality of people that are in it. So plan to attend a community, right? Get into the Naturally Inspired Community. And if you want to get, out into your community where you live, then look for events in your community, right? Attend at least one thing this month where you know people share your mission for a healthier life. And then, incrementally work into it so that it's a weekly practice and maybe even a daily practice. Even listening to the show, I know people who, just listening to the show helps keep them on track because they learn something. That's the immersion part of the transformation system I just described, right? That's one of the components, is making sure that you immerse yourself in health every day. So it can be like reading an article. It can be listening to a podcast. It can be, reading a bit of a book every single day. But you have to set aside time to immerse yourself in the knowledge, right? So in your community, you have to remember it's always good to give before you get. So strong communities are built on contribution, not just consumption. So offer support to others, share knowledge, and be genuinely interested in other people's journey. So ask someone in your circle or connect with someone in your community and ask them how you can support them this week. Maybe it's a text, maybe it's a meetup for a coffee where you're just going to talk about, your common goals of optimum health. Maybe it's a walking group, maybe it's a Zoom call where you can encourage people in the chat on the Zoom call or the chat even on the show. It's about encouraging others. So show up consistently, because community isn't built in, I'm going there this time, I'm doing this one big thing, and then that's it, nothing for months or weeks on end. It's about repetition, showing up a little bit, just a little bit. It doesn't have to be this grandiose gesture. It's just like, hey, I was thinking about you. How you doing? How is your new lifestyle coming along? Are you getting enough protein? Like a little question here and there, just to say, hey, I'm out here too, right? So think about showing up consistently. Commit to one reoccurring group or a workshop or class or a circle that you could be the person that other people can count on. The other thing too about thinking about other people and supporting other people is, in our culture, because we're so isolated, through our portals, our phones, that's where we get a lot of our entertainment these days, it would seem. It becomes a very self-focused type of lifestyle. And when we are so incredibly focused on ourselves all the time, man, it can become obsessive. And so spread yourself out a little bit, be purposeful with thinking about others and not thinking about your own stuff. Very healthy, because I see a trend, especially with young people, is they become so self-fixated that their problems become mountains when they don't need to be. It's just that they're always thinking about themselves. And they're rarely, practiced at thinking about other people. Not in a really authentic way. There's a lot of virtue signaling going on for sure. But I mean in a really authentic way where you take time out of your life to support somebody else, where you're actually engaged in their life and helping them and not thinking about yourself. So important. Create spaces for connection. Be the one who brings people together. It doesn't have to be a fancy thing. Hey, we're all meeting. All four of us are meeting at this coffee shop. You want to join us? Yeah. And then maybe we go for a walk, or maybe you go for a walk and then go for a coffee, right? Or you attend a health talk together, or you just, get out in nature together. The power is in the gathering. It doesn't matter, again, the quantity, it's the quality. So invite 3 people over to your house. Invite 3 people to a local spot. And maybe it's not centered around food, Maybe it's centered around grabbing a coffee and just talking about wellness and your goals, with your wellness and your health. Be real. Don't be perfect, right? So perfection isolates and authenticity connects. So when you share your real struggles and your growth about your health, give others permission. It gives other permission to do the same. That's how transformation multiplies, right? It's not about being perfect all the time and getting it all right and always being just, perfect with what you do. It's not about that at all. It's actually about, hey, I'm struggling with this, or I thought I was doing the right thing, and this is what happened, and tracking is a big part of that too, right? Like actually tracking what you do, because there's a disconnect, people. There's a disconnect between what we think we do and what we actually do. And when you are accountable to yourself and to others, and you genuinely track what you're doing, you'll find the disconnect. And that's not something you should feel shame about, okay? Let me tell you, being an optimist is a good thing. You're like, I'm eating great. I'm trying to do that, so I must be doing okay. That's a great trait. But it's also powerful when you are honest with yourself and you see point blank, oh my gosh, I can see why I'm not making the results I want, because I'm actually eating too much processed food and not enough protein. Easy fix, right? It's an easy fix. We love easy fixes. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Honesty is important. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back for the second hour.